NATA, the National Athletic Training Convention or Symposium, I think that's a huge way not only to network, but where you get to stay up to date, right?
Yep.
Even for myself, it's like making it out to these conferences. Well, now it's more for like academics too, but also just making it out as a practitioner. That's where I grabbed all of these, different philosophies.
Yeah.
You get exposure and direction to, let's head this way, right, with future direction. But I liked what you said, because technology, this can both be a positive and negative. So I think you got to be smart with it. But technology, I think that has leveled the playing field a lot, because now we're stuck in the Pacific Ocean. We don't necessarily need to be physically there, or like even phone call, you can't really do too much. But when you have like Zoom, audio, video, you have all of these other resources, right, that are online now. For me, that's when really things started to, you get to really get exposed, I guess, to everything that's going on out there. And not only in the US, this is like around the world too, right? The drawback is that, you can't take everything like out of context and apply it, right? But I think the exposure for our field and profession, that also carries over to any other profession, but the athletes too, they get to see, like competition clips. They get to see like, oh, this is what they're doing, right? And again, it's using this information to your advantage so that you can keep up with the times, stay up to date. But it will be interesting, because I truly think like 10 years from now, it's going to be completely different. Like things that we're doing today will probably be like obsolete, and then 10 years from now, who knows what kinds of things we're doing.
And then that's why I can't even fathom where would be in 10 years. It's just where we've been 10 years ago and versus where we are now. It's just it's amazing. And then I guess that'd be the silver lining to the pandemic is everybody's meeting through Zoom. You know, like for Kamehameha, we have a tri-campus athletic trainer meeting. It wasn't until the pandemic when we all got a lot closer, because we're meeting almost weekly, and we connect with our coworkers on the neighbor islands. But yeah, I mean, it just, everything is so much more, everybody's so much more accessible. My HATA meetings, our executive committee meetings are all Zoom now. It's easy. I can just, are you guys available? Can we meet in 10 minutes? Versus before it was, okay, we'll meet at Kamehameha. I'll pick up breakfast. I'll do this. I'll do that. Now it's a lot cheaper for the But in 10 years, it's hard to imagine. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the athletic training profession, and we'll kind of end on these ideas. But obviously, you're the president for the HATA Association, right? Hawaii Athletic Trainers Association, and you guys always do a great job, putting on all these events. I think one of the big things too is that because we're out here, right, it's important, like CU events or any type of thing, networking, even networking within our community. I think it's so close knit. Obviously, pandemic has kind of threw a wrinkle into some of the activities that we'd usually do, but overall, I can't speak for how it's like in other districts and stuff, but the Hawaii athletic trainers community is very, very close knit. Even when we go up to these conventions, right? Yeah. There's always like socials or things that we do and network, and we get to talk to people that we don't get to. Right. Like throughout the year, everyone's so busy, right? So that's kind of our one time to connect with each other again. But talk about what it's like on this community or local level in Athletic Trainers Association. And then also whatever you want to share about, the mainland regional FWATA conventions or NATA conventions. How important is that to our profession, young professionals too, right?
Well, with regards to HATA, we've been trying to push events, and obviously, like we said, the pandemic has definitely put a wrinkle in things. We've had some virtual events that we had, a relatively small following compared to our in-person events. A lot of it was kind of COVID based. We have one in the talks, probably for early June. I would have loved to have gone back to in-person, but the way the state is, our state is a little bit behind as far as opening up restrictions, and understandably so, because we're an island, we have limited resources, and we don't know where the pandemic is going to take us. The numbers drop, and then they. But as far as the district and NATA, I know those are going to be in person, but I think district is not as scaled down as NATA. NATA will be in Philadelphia. There's a lot of events that they usually have that they won't have, just because of gatherings and whatnot. So it won't be the same experience that we're used to.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because, with our students that come through the program, we always push, if you can, you got to make it out to a national conference.
Yes.
Before the pandemic, it was like, you got to make it out to a national conference. You network, the expo, the exhibits, you see what's new on the market. And it's funny because like for even for you're kind of a veteran. But when there's some of these products that come out, it's like, really? It's there are some products that come out like, okay, why didn't I think of this? But other products are like, okay, that's pretty creative, but I don't know if I'd put money into it. But just to stay up on what's new, product wise, and then concept wise, and then to not have, and then that's the other thing with our symposium, because we're going to plan a virtual symposium for this summer, and in person, because of the hands-on aspect that we don't have, that's what we miss. And then just a physical interaction. Hopefully we can get back to normal. I'll have been, my term will be up by then, so I can.
I can't believe it's been that fast.
It's been So I'm on the last year of my second term. So it's my fourth year, and I'm not lazy, but I mean, because the pandemic took up 2 years of my 4, it kind of made it a little easier as far as events and whatnot. But I we understand the need for CEUs, and we're trying to promote events, whether it be virtual or it will be virtual. But I am in contact with our CEU committee, our symposium committee. We will have something for the membership. It's just the pandemic had its pros and cons, so.
Yeah, I agree. And, everyone's looking for everything to get back in person. But until then, it's good that we're adapting and adjusting with all the virtual stuff. And I think NATA, someone told me that is even going to have a virtual option too. So, it makes it easier, especially for us out here. If you can't physically make it, although it's the same price, I think, or I believe, it's still something that you can get exposed to a lot of things that it's definitely worth the cost, and definitely helps you in your career, whatever setting you're at. You'll find all these topics that will pertain to what you're doing now. But it's good to hear kind of, the evolution of Hatha, NATA and stuff. And I'll just share a little bit about my opinion. Like NATA too, like if you go and you see these exhibits, you can contact a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people too that has helped me in my positions, that I can easily send an email or call them or do something like that. That, you won't really have the opportunity if you never ever meet them in person or go to these events, right? The expo is great. I'm sure that all of you guys laugh at me every time because I'm the one that's trying everything. I've been in the middle playing spike ball, and then people are like, what are you doing? But anyway, it's a good way to interact and network. Yep. And I think for the people that haven't, like young professionals that haven't made it out to one, it's definitely worth it. I think you can use a lot of this as positives to your advantage if you're looking for future job opportunities or even just whatever you're doing right now, how to improve on some of those concepts.
And I think being from a rock in the middle of the Pacific, when we attend those conferences, I'll go up with Mac Nuts, chocolate Mac Nuts, and I'll hit up our the vendors that vendors, speakers, whatnot, and they clearly look forward to it. I mean, and they they're coworkers that see somebody's coming in with some Hawaiian host. It's you see that they get the crowd like, what you got there? What you got there? So, I mean, that kind of networking, I think, is what helps put Hawaii on the map. We get a little bit extra service, I think. I mean, it's something that I think it makes Hawaii unique. And then even our Hawaii social. It's not just Hawaii people. It's a hot ticket. At the national conferences, it's a pretty hot ticket. The people that have been to our socials before, when they see us, say, okay, when's you guys? When's the party? When's the social? So, and that's a credit to Ben, Joven, and our previous social committee chairs. But it's you put on, you gotta outdo yourself. You can't.
Man, it's crazy to think. So the last social the last NET we all attended was 2019, right?
Vegas, right? I think was it
Vegas. Was that 2019? Yeah, it had to be 2020.
Yeah, because 2020 summer was already.
It was already.
We were in a pandemic.
It's crazy to think that it's been that far. So, when everything opens up and everything gets back to normal, looking forward to connecting and networking with everyone again.